Hello LOS 400 students. We are in week 7, and in this week the video will cover writing your first 5 pages of your draft, writing in the third person, and then how to do a peer review. So just a note on this particular page that you're looking at, we have some students in this class who know exactly how big Africa is, and maybe they'd like to chime in and say something about it. Or maybe you're just smart enough to know this already. You can brag about that too. So we'll first go to the syllabus for this week, and it begins with just reading this article. It's not a very long article about building confidence in writing, and it looks like this. And again, just to show you that it's not that long, I'll scroll down, and there you go. Okay, it's just to show that writers of all types have some confidence issues when writing. Okay, I want you to notice that this thing is written in first person. It's going to be very important for you to get in the habit of writing your paper in the third person. It is not something that's just a thought essay or something you've probably been used to writing in other courses, especially English courses. This is a research paper and it is academic and scholarly in style, so you have to write in the third person. More about that in a few. So we'll go back to the syllabus. There we go. Draft approximately 5 pages of your paper. Has to be in APA format, Times Roman 12 font. It must be written in third person voice, active sentences and no subjective adjectives. If you're not sure about that, we have videos on that in our Black and Brightspace. So we use complete sentences, paragraphs, add lists, charts, whatever you want. Okay? So keep track of your citations because you don't want to just add all your APA citations and references at the end. Keep track of them. It's much easier. Okay? So now you have your with your 5 pages, you're going to add your thesis statement and the outline at the beginning of the paper. That will be on the paper until the final copy. Okay? So like I said earlier, prepare a reference list so that you're not scrambling at the end. You're going to post this on Blackboard under discussion 7 and the deadline is March 12, 2021. Answer or respond to as many people as you want. You just have to do one peer review and I'll show you where that peer review is. So let's go to Brightspace under content and you'll see the peer review form is right there. When you click it, it looks like this. Okay, and you can attach that to your response to a student. Okay, just make it quick. Doesn't have to be that long. You're just doing a quick review. Okay, find out if there are some spelling things or whatever. And remember, it's a draft, just like yours is a draft. You can be kind, but you can also point out a few things. I know it's tough because you don't want to hurt anyone's feelings, and we're not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. Any criticism should be positive. If you have questions on that, please let me know. Okay, so the next thing after this, let me go back to the syllabus here, and from here on out, I want you to keep the I will comment. That's why it has to be in Word document, and I will keep the comments on, and I will put them on your draft, and I want to refer to them later. So those comments and our answers or whatever, they will stay on your documents as you keep adding more pages throughout the semester until the final copy. Hope that's understood. Don't give me a blank sheet with nothing on it when you get to your second draft. So, in the next week, following this week, you're going to write 5 pages again, adding 5 pages, and you should have about 10 pages here. And you have 5 new pages with your current outline again. And like I say at the bottom here, do not delete any of the comments I made on your first 5 pages. Okay? So that's the assignment for this week. It's under discussion 7. Under one of the things I just want to show you about examples of pages, of papers actually, that I looked at that could be very similar. Sometimes people have a problem like, how do I start writing anything? So here's an academic scholarly paper. I want you to notice a few things. First of all, this is the abstract, okay? And the abstract is just a teaser. You wait till the last thing that you do with your paper. You don't write the abstract now. I don't want to see a paper with drafts at this time with an abstract. Okay? And then they go into an introduction and they lay out all the material. Your paper may not look like this, but one thing I do like are charts. And so they lay out the problem. Okay, and again, if you didn't see the title of this, it's Global Human Trafficking Child Victimization. There are some people in the class who are interested in this, who have expressed an interest in this. So, and by the way, this paper was written in 2018, I believe, and so that it's current. So, as we continue to go down in the paper, I want to point out they have some subheadings. So hopefully your draft of your outline looks like this. So you can see that they're explaining things, laying out the situation, and all of the other things. Then they do the what's the research behind it, the medical education. So they take sections. They want to help the reader along to figure to be able to follow their logical way of thinking. Notice it's an APA. There's no indentation. The only indentation, by the way, is in the abstract, and I hope they have it here. No, they don't, so they're wrong. APA format. That's something we'll talk about later. I veered off on a tangent here. Okay, and then the next thing is they show the research in outline form, and then collaboration. Then they have some recommendations, which is what you can recommend in your paper, including all these. It's written in columns here, which is not the best way for you to do that. So you're not going to be writing in columns. And they're looking at what the research will say in collaboration. So they repeat and they show that this is what's going to happen in the future. Okay, so they almost take the same type of outline that they had, and then they look at their recommendations, and then they go back to medical education, how they recommend that, public policy, and then research as well. That's one example. The second example is this article on food security. Again, that's not an APA format because they would indent this, but this is also written 2018. So they give you an idea of what the problem is in their introduction, and they show the data, they show the sources. This is why you did all that research and you found your articles so far. So, and then this is really nice. They give graphs, and you want to give your reader all of the information possible to understand your paper. So if you can come up with charts, graphs, and I can help you on that, let me know. Even tables are great too, because those are the things that really help to visualize your situation. Because sometimes these papers can go on and on and on and on. It's kind of an interesting graph, the chart. So you may want to take a look at that. Don't spend hours and hours trying to come up with creative charts at the expense of taking time to do the body of your paper. You can make simpler charts than this. Remember, some of these people are working in groups and they have a person who's an expert in this. If you have a person you know can make your chart, but as long as it's your work, that's okay too. So you can see that they lay out the situation, they give out all the data, and it goes on, and they have sub sections as well. Here are the recommendations, conclusions, and recommendations that they give. It's not a lot. This should be bigger on your paper. Perspectives on social challenges would be something that would be as a possible remedy. And then finally, they give their references, which are not in APA format right here. This is not APA format. Your paper has to be in APA. So those are two examples of how you can get started on your draft if you have a question. The next section is about writing in the third person. I mentioned that it's important, and I was going to make a whole video on that, but I found something better. So if you go to the syllabus on the content, and you scroll down all the way to the bottom, I added a new video, writing in the third person, and it's this, writing in the third person. It's got better graphics. The guy's more handsome than me, so you can look at this article and I mean this video, and it's only about 4.5 minutes long. But it's very good. It shows you exactly what pronouns to use, what not to use, how to develop your sentence, and it actually makes your writing much easier and more clear. So please look at that at some time when you're writing your paper. If it's not written in the third person, I'm telling you now, I will return the paper saying, please write in the third person. And so this is a short lecture because I want you to spend time writing your 5 pages rather than listening to my nasally French accented voice. Okay, da? So I will talk to you later, and let's go back to that first picture so you can take a good look at it and see how we are such a Western oriented thinking community that we think we are so important in terms of geography, and even China can fit into Africa. That tells you how big this continent is. Take care.